Salut tout le monde. Hello. Victor, où est-ce qu'on se trouve aujourd'hui? On est à Navdanya, dans l'éco-ferme du docteur Vandana Shiva, créée en 1991. On vous emmène, c'est parti.
I would like to start with the Navdanya's background first. So in 1987, Dr. Vandana Shiva started a research foundation down south in Bangalore. She kind of found out that now people, these multinational corporations are looking into the food system, because if they can grab hold of the food system, that means they are grabbing hold of all the lives basically, right? So when the Green Revolution came in, the Green Revolution sounds very nice. So their main focus was to have monoculture crops and to have more yield so that they can export more outside the country. They didn't think about local community or local democracy or the state democracy or the local economy. They thought about exporting. Before the Green Revolution, we had 20,000 varieties of rice seed. Now we have only 4,000, from which 3,400 are saved by Navdanya. The seed bank that we have here is the biggest one in terms of the variety and not the quantity. So she did the research and she found out that she had to save the seeds. If she doesn't do it now, then everything's just gonna get wiped out, and then there will be a lot of power for the corporates basically. Everybody who comes here are Bijaks. Bijaks means seed sower. So once you're here in Navdanya, you become officially a Bijak of Navdanya. So once you are here, we live in a community. There's no a person, oh you're from France or you're from Canada, you're from Bhutan. No, we're all human beings here. So that's the community that we offer. This is Bij Vidyapit or Seed School or Earth University. Most of the programs, everything is done here. Then we have the Navdanya International Florence, which is in Italy. It basically looks at all the food security, food problems, genocides, ecocide. They are basically a bunch of lawyers who are working with Dr. Shiva to put all these people on trial basically. Dow and Syngenta, they are coming as one. Monsanto and Bayer, they are coming as one. DuPont and Mover, they are coming as one.
So they're going to be three massive companies.
Three massive companies. I think Monsanto has been on a highlight for a very long time now because of the work of Dr. Vandana Shiva. And now they feel that they should just merge with Bayer so that they don't have the name anymore, and people might think, okay, Monsanto is gone, but actually not gone. Actually,
it's more
stronger. And apart from that, whatever Navdanya does, we do it for the farmers. Everything is free for them. So every month we do have a farmers training. So this is how we start the daily schedule. So from 10 to 12:30, we always work in the farm. Right now we are harvesting rice, so people who are here, they are in a very good time because you are harvesting rice, then you are saving the seeds. You know how the seeds is being saved. Here we don't use any machines to plow the field as well. We use our oxes. That's how it works. Because what happens with the machines is the tires are very big, right? So they are plowing the land. What happens is there's different labels of layers of land, soil inside the soil. So you have the uppermost label, then we call it the first label. in uppermost level they don't have any microorganisms. It's only starts from the first level. So when we are plowing, we plow with our oxen, so they just take the first level out. They don't hamper the second level where there's a lot of microbes. But in terms of tractors, what happens is they turn to go to the second level because of the machines they have. So you don't see the problem right now, but in about 5 or 6 years, you kind of compress the first level, the topsoil and the first level. So what happens is like when they are compressed, these microorganisms, it's like very hard for them to survive. So they go to this next level where there's different varieties of microbes. And then there's a dysfunction in the ecosystem soon enough. Nearly about 200 meters away, we have a tube well. So what we do is we switch on the pump and then all the water goes into that tank, the big one. And we do in the old ways, irrigation. So if there's no water also, if there's no water in rainy season, we can irrigate our land with the water that we have here. And then you have all these channels like this, so this land is like kind of gently slopey. So you just divert water. For example, if you want to put this in this field, you just break that, close it here, so it gets diverted. So that's how we irrigate the land. As you see, there's a lot of rice that has fallen. Yeah. We don't have a problem in terms of that. So if it was a GMO or a BT, they would have literally been dead by now. Well, even if it's like fallen down, they still grow. And they still get matured. That's the power of indigenous seed. One can get 100. We don't get worried. We just like harvest them in about 2 or 3 days. Here you don't have any problems with pest, because as I already told you, the ecosystem is doing well. So we don't have to basically worry about crickets growing too much or things like that. If there's too much of crickets, there are bugs. So we have found out like 72 varieties of species that migrate here every year. So they take care of the ecosystem by itself. And in the chemical farm, we found out only 2 varieties of birds. Yeah.
How come some farmers let themselves convinced by chemicals?
Okay, so basically when the Green Revolution was here, they said it's medicine. So farmers, they just go in like this. No? For example, okay, if you buy seeds from me, I'll give you fertilizer, urea, all these chemicals for free. So they take it in the first year for free. Next year, they can't save their own seeds because first of all, it's GMO or BT seeds. We don't have GMO seeds in India, but BT seeds, yes. So their seeds are hybrid, first of all. Hybrid seeds, what happens is like they can't regrow themselves. You have to use from somewhere else. So they now, once they get the seeds and the chemicals free for the first year, second year they kind of have to pay for the seeds and pay for the chemicals, which are more stronger than the previous one. So eventually they run into that system day by day. They are kind of a habit for them now with the chemicals, because Green Revolution, what they did was they did give them chemicals for free, and then they even like at night went to organic farmers field and just threw chemicals on them. So that was one of the main problems of Green Revolution as well. They say that like the production has gone down. First of all, you have to use more powerful urea every year, and they also are realizing that every 4th person in the family is suffering from cancer and kidney stone, which they didn't have in their grandfathers or grandmothers' time.
So far, how many have you helped in India?
We have trained about more than 500,000 farmers.
500,000?
Yeah. And if you're talking the percentage of farmers in India, we have just trained about 4 or 5%. Our main goal is like indigenous seeds, rights to their own seeds. For example, they have the power of their own local economy rather than buying it from outside.
Yes.
That's why we have 120 community seed banks all across India, so that they have the local power to themselves. So local power, local economy, local food, local living democracy. More local rather than taking it out. First them.
Short circuit.
Yeah. And then spread the word. That's happening a lot. Before it was a very slow process, because until now there's 200,000 pharmacy sites all across India, right? Since last 3 years it's coming into light. Nobody really put in media or anything like this for much farmers have time. This is all like our work that we have put it into social media now, or into television or into news, that farmers are dying every year. And we do have a lot of collaboration and a lot of organic movements coming from all across India. So it's a growing process, and then I think a lot of farmers are really looking for this again. They basically want support.
Is it crazy for you guys to think that maybe in 10 years half of India will eat organic?
Yeah, not crazy.
Not crazy. It's a goal.
It's a goal. It can be. Till here, till there, this one is 1 acre. So we have been doing 1 acre to freedom for the last 10 years. So this year in Hague we just released that 1 acre to freedom really works. You don't need like 1,000 hectares of land. So we have family of 5 people out there who's the night watchman. So we kind of tested with him. What you need to do in 1 acre of land is you need to plant some fodder trees first of all. Second, you have to have a lot of biodiversity, as in like have a lot of mixed cropping, different things growing at different seasons. What happens is, for example, the fodder trees, the fodders can be fed to the cows. So you need to have at least 2 cows to milk and then 2 oxen to plow the field. Now with fodder, when you're using the leaves for the cows, you have the branches. That can be used for cooking your food, right? You have cow dung as a vermicompost, as a compost for your soil. And at the same time you can use as biomass, like biogas. Yeah, you don't have to go and buy cylinders or use electricity to cook food. So a lot of things really happens in 1 acre of land, and then it's very sustainable and it works. So we have the figures as well, and they will earn a lot of money at the same time. So we calculated after using everything in the field for the first year, you can literally earn in a year like 3 lakh. It's something about $7,000 to $8,000. So for a farmer, $8,000 is a lot.
Yes.
When you're doing organic, you don't have to think about your son getting cancer and like putting lakhs and lakhs of rupees to treat him. There's nothing like that. So basically, this thing, the ground is like with cobweb, for example, cow dung, mud, and straw. So we have this in every rooms as well. So as you know that it's like really cooler out here. Yes. It's like an insulator. So what we do is, in olden days, they always used to use this texture in their houses as well, and then they used to have kitchens outside the house. Basically, they just cook on firewood, and you could already see this thing hanging around in the kitchen. So because of the smoke, the seed used to always stay away from the moisture. So the main purpose of saving seed, one small important idea is you should not have any moisture in your seeds. Once you're good with that, it's not a problem. You can save literally anything. And then we started working on this. So this is a bamboo basket, and same thing is applied here. And you put the seeds here, seal it off. It can store seeds for 30 years without any problem.
Are you scared that companies hear from you a bit too much and they come at you?
We're not scared. We're not scared. Monsanto is scared of Navdanya, basically. No, seriously.
They're probably the biggest threat.
Yeah.
That's why they merged, first of all. Second of all, whenever Dr. Vandana Shiva is anywhere, they're always there, one or two representatives from Monsanto, basically. They're scared of us because we know that it's just like, for example, people really need to wake up. It's just like 4 or 5 people, this is the chessboard, right? They're just playing chess on top of us. Like on our back like this. They just need to stand. Their game's over. I think that's how it works, but it'll take time, a little bit more, but soon enough, I think the revolution is going to start very, very soon enough.